Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Combermary people.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Thursday, March 21. In Squiz Kids Today, pandas to stay in Adelaide, Iceland's village munching volcano, a fake royal scandal, and Ariana's record-breaking grandma. That's what's making news, kids style.
The Lowdown.
We get to keep our pandas. That was the big news out of Canberra yesterday. Well, for us at least, after Australia's Foreign Minister Penny Wang met with her Chinese government counterpart and, among other things, negotiated for Adelaide Zoo's star attractions Wang and Funi to remain in Australia for the foreseeable future. Wang and Funi are a pair of giant pandas who have been on loan to Adelaide Zoo for the past 15 years. China has a program of lending giant pandas to zoos around the world as part of an effort to conserve and protect them, but also for what's called soft diplomacy. According to data, there are currently 63 giant pandas on loan to 19 countries. Now, diplomacy is a word used to describe a relationship between countries, and China cleverly uses the mind-boggling cuteness of the giant panda as a way to improve its relations with other countries. The news yesterday was met with much celebration in South Australia, with zookeepers there doing cartwheels at the prospect of getting to keep looking after Wang and Funi. And it also means the 14-hectare bamboo forest that the zoo has planted to make sure the pandas have plenty of their favourite food to eat continues to have a purpose. Win-win.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Iceland, where the residents of a small fishing village are waiting and watching to see whether their town gets eaten up by lava. Iceland is an amazing country, a huge volcanic island in the middle of the sea to the north of Europe. It's famous for its landscapes carved by millions of years of volcanic activity. Landscapes that make you feel like you're walking on the moon. Right now, there's a volcano erupting which is spewing a whole lot of lava. Lava is molten rock, which is to say rock that is so incredibly hot that it's been turned into liquid. We're talking anywhere between 700 to 1,200 degrees Celsius. And when you consider boiling water is 100 degrees Celsius, that's really, really hot molten rock. I stuck a link to video of the volcanic activity in today's episode notes. The village of Grindavik on the coast has been evacuated, and some homes have already been swallowed up by the lava, as residents now can only stand by helplessly and watch Mother Nature at her most awesome.
Pop Culture Corner.
Have you ever had a sing-along with your grandma? Maybe she's taught you songs that she loved to sing when she was growing up. Or maybe you've taught her the latest Tay-Tay hit. Well, pop princess Ariana Grande loves having a sing-along with her grandma, Marjorie, or Nonna, as she calls her. And now, Nonna has made history by becoming the oldest living person to be on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. At the sprightly age of 98, Nonna is featured on Ariana's new song, Ordinary Things, giving her granddaughter and anyone else who listens advice on how to have a happy marriage. That song debuted in the Billboard 100 charts this week. And yes, of course, I've stuck a link to it in today's episode notes, because who doesn't love a little bit of Ariana on a Thursday?
Newshounds.
Every Thursday, Squiz-E the Newshound sticks his snout into Squiz Kids HQ to report back on fishy things he's sniffed out on the internet. And this week, his snout is all twitchy with another royal fake news scandal. You'll remember last week we talked about the photoshopped family portrait that Princess Kate from England's royal family sent out into the world and the uproar that it caused. Well, that's what's called misinformation. Information that is shared but not intended to do any harm. Today, Squiz-E has stumbled across a piece of disinformation, which is fake news created with the intention of tricking people and causing harm. In this instance, it's a fake news report that originated in Russia claiming that the King of England, King Charles, had died, which he hasn't. He's alive and well. It started as a post to a couple of popular Russian social media sites and was then reported in mainstream Russian media, prompting Buckingham Palace to issue an official denial. But not before many thousands of people had believed the fake report was true. It's another excellent reason to always do as Squiz-E tells us, and that's to stop, think, and check before believing everything we see, read, or hear online. And another excellent reason to make sure your class is among the more than 2,000 around the country that have signed up to use SquizKids' very own free media literacy resource, Newshounds. Check it out via our website, squizkids.com.au. And a shout out to the kids at John Palmer School in the Ponds in Sydney and their teacher Ms. Whiteside. I cannot wait to come out to your school tomorrow with your local Member of Parliament, Federal Communications Minister Michelle Rowland, to see Newshounds in action. It's gonna be fun.
Q&A call out.
Have you ever wondered who pays the bills for Australia? Who decides how to spend the money that the government collects and what it should be spent on? How much should be spent on roads or hospitals, schools or sports? Well, it's all decided by a person called the Treasurer, a politician in Canberra who, after the Prime Minister, is probably the most important person in our government. At the moment, that job is held by a man called Jim Chalmers from sunny Queensland, and we're delighted to report that he's agreed to take the Squiz Kids Q&A hot seat and answer any questions you might have for him. Like, how did he get his job? Why did he want to become a politician and work in Canberra? What exactly is the federal budget and why is it important? What do his 3 kids, Jack, Annabelle and Leo, think about his job? And what was he like as a kid? Why is his mum so important in his life? Who was his favourite teacher? What would he have done for a job if he didn't become a politician? And why is he such a fan of hip-hop music? And who's his favourite artist? Or, my favourite, why does his daughter Annabelle paint his toes with glitter nail polish before he goes to Canberra to help run the country? Send your questions to squizkids@thesquiz.com.au and we'll pick the best 10 to put to the Treasurer. Teachers, send through questions that your class might have. Just don't dilly-dally. The man has a budget to prepare after all, and school holidays are looming, so time is of the essence.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. In which country is a volcanic eruption threatening to swallow villages? Yeah, that's right, it's Iceland. Question number 2. Which pop star enlisted her grandma to appear on her latest track? Yeah, well done if you said Ariana Grande. Question number 3. What are the names of the pandas on loan from China in Adelaide Zoo? Yeah, a bit of a toughie that one. Congratulations if you said Wang and Funi.
Shout outs.
It's March 21. Get your motors running, people, because the Australian Formula One Grand Prix kicks off in Melbourne today. It will be a festival of fast cars, incredible engineering, and lovers of all things that are fast and loud. It's also a very special day for these Squiz kids celebrating a birthday today. Lucas from Yass, Winnie and Ruby from Wollonga, Sarvan from Spring Mountain, Leedon from Caringbah, Indigo from Caloundra, Angus from Nelson Bay, Tama from Millfield, and Yi Jun, who's listening all the way over there in South Korea. And belated birthday shout-outs today go to Sia from Wheelers Hill, Marcus, who's listening in Hanoi in Vietnam, and a special belated shout-out to Miss Tikna from Marulan Public School. And today's classroom shout-outs go to Prep Class B, Ms. Nona at Mater Day Catholic Primary School in Ashgrove West. Class 3D and Mr. Davies at Epping West Public School. Class 4A and Miss Horton at Gardendale Primary School in Brighton East. Class 5S, Mrs. Smeaton at Livingston Primary School. Class 3 Blue and Mrs. Bell at Cedars Christian College in Unanderra. And finally Class 7J and Mr. Jared at Freshwater Christian College in Cairns. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you're after a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow with our Kids versus Adults weekly news quiz. Your chance to prove who's been paying the most attention to the week that just was. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.